All right, how's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Tuesday night, 7:20 p.m. California time here. February 4th, 2025 is the date. Latest activity shows a 6.1 earthquake into the Indonesia Islands area coming in just right now. Largest earthquake here in a little while. It's a decent quake. Not going to be associated with any type of tsunami. It would have to be much bigger, and then obviously maybe around the subduction zone or so to get a water displacement. But EMSC reporting this earthquake right now. Looks like about 103 kilometers deep underneath this region. We'll see if the USGS updates it here soon. I am seeing a little bit of the earthquake signature down across New Zealand. Aside from that, I really don't see that signature showing up anywhere else. Maybe they're across Taiwan. Looks like that potentially showed up. And also some adjustment earlier today across the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench at 5-pointer right on the subduction zone here. Waiting for a big one across this area. This is long overdue for a mega quake. Just one of the areas around Japan that are well overdue. So we'll check back here on the USGS map once they get that updated 6.1 or 2, whatever they want to kick it up as, or downgrade it. Let's go ahead and check out real quick the latest earthquake activity there across the Greece area. Here's the latest seismograph station there showing pretty steady conditions with, it looks as though for now things may be dropping a little bit. Here's the latest map in terms of earthquake activity. In the time over here in the colored chart, notice quite a few there in the last 6 hours or so. A number of earthquakes. The latest one looks to be a 3-pointer here. That's going to be UTC time on the 5th of February. Still the 4th here where I'm at. But the latest there, 3.0. Couple 4s earlier. So things are still rocking and rolling. Let's go ahead and look at one of the seismograph stations out there and see if we're still kicking up with earthquake activity. Even though the seismograph right now looks fairly calm, let's see what these folks here are showing us. There we go. I meant to click this one. Is that one offline? Hold on a second here. There we go. That, is this right? Almost looks like, this isn't right. That's from 2013. What's going on here? Looks like they've done something here to the seismograph stations. There we go. This is a newer model. Still quite a bit of earthquake activity out there. These are going to be some 3s and 4s that are popping up very local to the Santorini area where all this elevated earthquake activity is occurring. There's still a number of earthquakes out there, folks. Even though that seismograph station there on the Raspberry Shake data is showing quiet for now. That's, what a normal seismograph station will look like without any earthquakes coming in. Got to remember that seismograph station sits down here and may not be picking up some of the smaller ones, but it definitely shows the 3s and 4s and anything above that. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the total tally of earthquakes across this area in the Sea of Crete, around the Santorini volcano, the Colombo volcano. Got a pretty good cluster of earthquakes here on the USGS map. 52 earthquakes. That's a decent amount of earthquake activity. This morning, seen a 5.3 earthquake, the largest in this sequence of events so far. So things may be, just taking a little break right now, but I don't think this is over by a long shot. Here's the EMSC model showing some earthquakes there in the last hour. Got a 3.8, and a couple other smaller quakes in there as well. Watching for some migration here across this region because, earlier this morning where that 5.3 struck, it was positioned down here a little bit closer towards the Santorini volcano, which sits here. Colombo volcano roughly in this area. But we got a little bit of migration going on here directly towards that area. And that could be highly alerting if that does take place. So we're going to watch that closely here over the next couple days, next few hours, I should say, and watch for any further intensifying earthquake activity towards the Santorini region. That is what we got to watch pretty closely. 4.27 hours ago, 2 kilometers deep for that quake. The 5-pointer struck out here. There's a 3.2. Let's see here. There's a 4.8. Where'd that 5-pointer go? It's somewhere down here. 4.2. You can see it a little bit better here on this map. Actually, it's a 5.3. So you notice the position of this away from the swarming. So got to watch that. It is, even on the USGS model, you can see that stretching towards that area. A lot of folks are saying that this has nothing to do with volcanic activity. And I get it. There's some fracture zones out there. A volcanic arc of many different submarine volcanoes and, plate dynamics out there. But I think in general, this is a volcanic activity. All right. That's my 2 cents on that. We'll continue to watch that. Nothing big popping there for now. USGS, pretty good downgrade with that 6-pointer to a 5.5 compared to what the EMSC model came in as. Looks like maybe the EMSC is actually in agreement as well. Originally coming in as a 6-pointer down to a 5.5. So either way, a decent earthquake. Let's see. Alaska's been swarming quite a bit here throughout the day today. Let's go ahead and check out Alaska up here on the north area of the Pacific Plate. Number of 4s and even some 5s out there. The latest of 4.6 right next to the 5-pointer. The Aleutian Trench is a major accumulator of some strain. It doesn't take hundreds of years to build up, energy for a big earthquake up here. 8.1 back in 2021 here across this area, but not so much over here. So I'm kind of watching this area west of where that 8.1 struck back in 2021. It could be looking at some larger scale earthquake activity there soon. It's been showing, and last 7 days there, very obvious. There's a lot of strain out there against the Aleutian Trench. California, a couple earthquakes out there. Really nothing big going on here. Let's check out the 2.5 model. Looks like a 2.7 around Long Valley Super Volcano. Prior to that, Northern California, well offshore, back along the plate boundary here towards the Gorda Escarpment area. 3.2. Nothing going on across the Cascadia there for now. A little swarming there across the southern end of the San Andreas Fault. Watch that. We don't want to see a linear fashion there on the plate boundary with earthquakes, and that's halfway there. A number of small quakes in a kind of a linear fashion along the plate boundary here. This area is locked and loaded for an 8.1 earthquake. Think I'm kidding? That's what seismologists and geologists are stating that's capable out here. 300 years, more than 300 years since this area of the southern branch of the San Andreas Fault has seen any rupture. All right, that's not a fairy tale, and it's not fear-mongering. That is just the cold, hard facts and the truth that one day this area is going to produce that big earthquake. Let's check out tremor map here real quick. Cascadia tremor. 213. That's a decent amount of tremor. They're across the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. Nothing big popping there for now. And the earthquake activity out there is fairly non-existent, but I'll definitely watch this here. Might see some earthquake activity happen on that soon. A couple smaller spikes there on the, at least one of them on the Petrolia station. I wonder if they cut off the 1-pointers. For a while they were reporting some of the earthquakes below 2.0. And then for a little while they weren't. So it looks like maybe they went back to not reporting the smaller quakes out here. But there is a number of little spikes there on that Petrolia station, which sits right about here, that I've seen throughout the day today, and nothing showing up aside from that earthquake back here. 3.2. So keep an eye on the southern end of the Cascadia. That's another area that has not had any, rupture activity, earthquake activity in terms of megaquake movement in 325 years. The total for the Cascadia subduction zone. The southern portion, and higher likelihood of seeing a partial rupture down here compared to a full rupture. I think we may be quite ready to see that potentially. Yellowstone National Park, super volcano. Make it sound scary. Let's go check it out and see what's going on up there across the super volcano. A couple smaller earthquakes there on the Maple Creek area. This over here, not for sure what it is. It almost looks like earthquake activity, but it's not showing up on nearby seismograph station, so I'm not for sure what that is. The earthquake activity that is legit and happening is going to be a couple of these right here, a couple small spikes here. But really, nothing big happening. The USGS reporting a handful of those quakes today, all underneath the 2.0 threshold. Across the rest of the country here, one earthquake in, a couple out there in Oklahoma, one in New Madrid seismic zone from last night. Really nothing more to report across there, across the eastern portion of the country. Look at the earthquake 3D globe here in the last 24 hours. New Zealand looks like getting in on an earthquake right now. 4-pointer coming in to the area. Looks like that may be on the towards the Kermadec Trench here. It looks like. Let's go check out GeoNet. See what's going on down on that side of the globe. 5 minutes ago, 1.7. I'm guessing that's going to be this earthquake. GeoNet reporting this as a 3.9. 33 kilometers deep there off North Island, probably associated with the southern end of the Kermadec Trench. There we go. May have even been this 4-pointer. I don't know. There's a number of earthquakes showing up there. A 5-pointer? Maybe it's the 5-pointer. Let's go see what we got here for the earthquake drums. See if all those earthquakes are legit. Yeah, look at that. Back-to-back earthquake activity happening there. You guys see that? Boom, 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 boom. Bunch of earthquakes. So looks like we got some type of sequence of events popping up here now across the area of North Island, just off the northern coast area. At least one 5-pointer and a couple other quakes in there as well. It's interesting to see that rapid type earthquake activity back to back like that. That could be a sign of maybe some bigger earthquake activity about ready to pop there in that area. Now, these earthquakes were not felt. Obviously, they're offshore, and they're in the category of unnoticeable earthquake. But 5-pointer, 4-pointer, 3.9, 1.7, all happening literally within a few minutes of each other. So watch that. Interesting activity taking place there. Whole lot of activity, happening across the globe here recently. Ethiopia rift boundary jumping in on the action a little bit more with a 4.4. Something brewing underneath this area to cause all this rift boundary activity. And again, keep an eye here across the Santorini volcano. Real quick glance here at the seismograph station. There's another small earthquake or two in there. And it's the upper 3s to the 4s and 5s and higher that show up across the seismograph station. But there is still, some earthquake activity, and it's shown down here on the spectrogram as well. So we're waiting to see what happens. That's pretty much all you can do right now. There's that 4.9 north of Hicks Bay, New Zealand. USGS reporting that at 6.2 miles deep. That is definitely an interesting little swarm of events out there. Keep an eye on the Hikurangi subduction zone. Sits just south there. I do have a New Zealand station here. Let me see. Right here. But that's in between North and South Island, so it's probably not going to pick up this earthquake activity that's happening. All right, let's see here. Space weather. What's going on out there outside of the atmosphere? Got a massive area looking at the Earth right now. Massive group of sunspots. More concerned with this area down here. that's currently flaring a little bit. That's going to be sunspot 3981, the culprit here of a number of M flares and C flare activity. This region specifically right here looks super complex and could pop off a strong M flare, maybe even an X flare. It is something to watch, and looks like a noteworthy sunspot area with that complexity going on. Keep an eye specifically on that area. Aside from that, fairly minimal conditions outside of the region. Not a whole lot of auroras there in the forecast, so unless we get a Earth-directed massive CME, it should stay fairly calm until maybe some of this high-speed solar wind stream flows from that coronal hole here over the next few days or so. Decent coronal hole. All right, weather outlook out here today. Man, I picked up 4 inches of rainfall here. It rained cats and dogs, or I don't know what I could utilize to compare it to, but it just rained pretty steady. And pretty much hopefully put us out of the drought here. The drought was starting to kick back in. I think we're out of that for now. There's the rainfall rates earlier today. Again, picked up 4 inches of rainfall from today's event and then the past 3 days. So that's decent. 4 inches of rainfall is a decent amount. So got a little break tomorrow before another system set to hit Northern California in the Bay Area on Thursday and into Friday. Not that big of a storm system. We are expecting a lot of snow in the mountains, though, from this one. After that, little break for the West Coast. Got some moisture pulling in there from the Gulf of Mexico for the south as we head to early next week. A lot of cold air venturing down there across the area of the country as well. And the blue lines, a lot of cold air. West Coast set to receive some more precipitation as we head towards the middle and end of next week. And that is all right by me. The more rain, the better. The happier the Earthmaster is. All right. Quick glance at the seismos, pretty quiet. Keep an eye on Greece, Santorini area. Keep an eye on New Zealand with the amplified activity here, with that back-to-back earthquake activity here in the last 20 minutes. Definitely interesting. When stuff like that happens, it makes me think that these could be some foreshocks. And, of course, a lot of movement up here across Alaska recently. You know, there's lots of potential. We could talk about this all night. Just stay prepared. Be prepared. 3.3 right now coming into the Greece area. Let's go check that out real quick. On my viewer, where did it go? Here we go. Raspberry Shake. 3-pointer. I guess that's going to be the 3-pointer right here. Not a big earthquake. It is showing up on the earthquake 3D globe there in the green flag. 3.3. 732. So that would probably match this time frame right here. So any 2s or anything probably not going to show up on this seismograph station, but the 3s and above for sure. Stay safe, folks. We will catch you guys out here a little bit later, probably tomorrow morning. Just wanted to jump in, update everyone on the ongoing events out here. Nothing has happened yet, but stay prepared, and we'll catch you guys out here. Man, if I had lots and lots of money here to fly out there, I would literally fly out there and observe what's going on. I think it would be interesting to study this area. Unfortunately, I don't know anyone out there. I don't have any contacts. Just got to go with the information that's provided out here to the public from various sources. And by the way, I appreciate everyone emailing me a bunch of different links here to talk about the earthquake activity and potential volcanic activity here around the Sea of Crete area, where all this volcano or earthquake activity is taking place. Right now, earthquake activity, right? But what is causing the earthquake activity? All right, have a good one, folks. We'll catch you guys out here in the morning. Stay safe.